I'm back to Tell the Truth channel. Please like, share my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what other content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. I am in Jesus and Jesus is in me. All right. I've been out lately, handling business and all that stuff. And by me being out, doing my calling for the Lord. So, I'll be out here for a while doing my calling for the Lord. I'm going to be out here for a while doing my calling for the Lord. So I'm going to be watching each and every last one of y'all while I'm out there doing my calling for the Lord. Yeah, I am. And I'm going to be listening to things that's going on in the grapevine out there while I'm out there doing my calling for the Lord out there in the world. Yeah. Because that's what the Lord got me here to do my calling for the Lord. That's why I'm down here. Like I keep telling y'all, I am in the world, but not of this world. And I'm here for the Lord to do whatever He tell me to do. That's what I'm here for. And whatever I see and hear. And me and the Lord get to talking about it, like me and my Father get to talking about things. And He tell me, my child, I want you to get down there and I want you to talk. Because like I keep telling you, my people are corrupting themselves down here on this earth. That's what He's telling me. My child, get out here. Because my people out here is corrupting themselves down here. That's what He say. So I'm out here. I'm listening to what's going on out here in the grapevine, Sometimes I'll be glancing on the TV. I'll listen to the news for about 5-10 minutes, Then I hear some things come up on the news about some things happening out here in the world, I'm hearing all that too. I'm looking like, what the heck is going on with y'all down here? The way y'all, because it's not the world, it's the people in the world. It's corrupting themselves, like the Father says. It's corrupting themselves down here. Because look, the Father gave us all parents, okay? We was all once babies, and then we growed up into adults. And He said, as we become from newborns all the way up to adults, He wants us to teach our children to the according of His ways. Not according to the devil ways, and according to His ways. That's what He said. Y'all get that? That's why we are here. That's why we here, to raise our children into according to God's ways. And according to God's ways. And some of y'all doing it, and some of y'all not doing it. So, this is what the Lord is. This is what He's saying. Because like I say, the Lord goes in everybody's house watching everything everybody doing in their home. Yeah, He's watching. I keep telling y'all that. The Lord is watching everything y'all doing in y'all homes. He's watching. He didn't say to grow up and be your friends to your children. No, He did not say that. He said grow up and raise your children. That's what He said. When your parents have you and you have your children, your parents supposed to teach you how to raise your children, for your children to know how to raise their children, not to get out there and be your children's best friends. No, that ain't what He teaches. That ain't what He put parents on the earth for. He didn't. He put parents on the earth to teach their children right from wrong. That's what He brought them here for. That's what He brought us here for. Not to be our children's best friends. To guide our children. That's what He brought us here for. to guide our children's, you know, not to molest our children's. No, that ain't what he brought us here for. He didn't bring us here to do that either. He did not bring us here to drink, smoke, and do drugs with our children. He didn't bring us here to do that either. He brought us here to teach our children how to pray, how to read the Bible, and to know how to be safe every time they walk out there in that world. That's what he brought us here to do. To teach them and to quarter to his ways. Every morning, teach your children how to pray. Every night, teach your children how to pray. Every day, keep your children in the Bible. Every day, tell your children when they wake up in the morning, thank you, God, for giving me life and taking it one day at a time and waking up in the morning. Teach your children. You're not down here to just live your life all willy-nilly down here. That is what you're not down here for. He built the world for us to live our lives, but according to his ways, not the devil's ways, his ways. That's what he did. But see, y'all parents get out here, get all willy-nilly, forget about your children's, doing things that your children should not even be doing, but you're doing it with them. And then wonder why your children don't respect you. Because you're sitting there and you're kicking it with your children like they your friends. And they're not your friends. They are your children's. So that's why they don't respect you. And that's why the world is the way it is now. With the children's. Because my mama always told me, this is what she always said, the world is going to get weaker and your children are going to get wiser. Therefore, your children's going to think they know more than you because you're sitting up there falling back like you think you one of your children's and you trying to hang with your children like you are a child. But you're not. You're a grown adult and you're supposed to teach your children's right from wrong. Guide them so they'll know how to guide their children's. That's why God put us here, to guide our children. So, from what I heard in the grapevine, that a little child, 6 years old, got raped, gang raped from some boys that's probably 9, 10, 11 years old, 12, something like that. Seriously? The little child probably looked at the boys as just kids. She had no idea that these boys was going to touch her. No idea. She had no idea because she's just a child. She's 6 years old. She don't know. She just trusting the kids because she thinking they going to just take her back in her home even though she walked out the door. She's 6 years old. She know how to turn the knob and come out the door. Yeah. They can reach the doorknob at 6 years old. They can. They know how to open the door and all that stuff. They do. Yeah, it does. But the point is, regardless if the child walked out the door, even if the child walked out the door, did nobody have a right to put their hands on that child? Nobody. Kids or grown up didn't have no right to put their hands on that child. They should have took the child, knocked on the door, because I'm quite sure the little child didn't know. I don't think the little child went that far down the street or wherever she was walking. I don't think she went that far. But I know it should have been an adult out there somewhere in the world because it's always somebody out there in the world that's walking that see a little child by herself or him by himself. Oh, why are you out here, baby? Where's your mother? Where's your father? Let me flag down the police. Let me tell the police this little child out here by herself. But you got to look at this. People in the world now, they just all thinking about themselves, running around, just thinking all about themselves. Ain't paying attention to nobody no more. No more. So now you got these corrupt kids out here. Corrupt kids that have been through things. Because you know what? You got to look at this. Everything starts in the home. Everything starts. So I'm putting it like this. If these boys raped this little girl, it's got to be something going on in their homes for them to go after this little baby. Something going on up in the house now, don't you think? Something got to be going on in that house for them to go and molest a child, take this baby somewhere and rape her. Don't you think? Something got to be going on in the household. Is these children getting molested in the home or something? Are they getting molested? Is their parents or somebody that they got around these kids are molesting these children or something? Because why would these children go out here and see this little girl and just molest her? Unless they've been molested. You know, it's a lot of trauma. It's a lot of trauma children out here in the world now that getting molested by their families, friends, and whatever. Just getting molested now. And these kids losing their minds because they're getting molested out here by families, friends, and everybody. Now they out here just snatching people all willy-nilly and just raping them themselves now. The children's. The children's is doing this now. Yeah. God's children's. It's correcting themselves. Because you know why? The parents is corrupting their children's. And the children's don't know why they molesting other children's. Because they got to be getting molested in their own home. That's the only way they could be going on like this. Got to be going on in the house. Because everything starts in the home. That's where everything starts at, in the home. Yes. So these boys that rape this child, don't take these babies and traumatize them because they already traumatized. You understand what I'm saying? They already traumatized. When they touched that child, they was already traumatized by what they went through in their own lives. They already been traumatized. You understand what I'm saying? These children, they need help. They need to be locked up in an institution. And I mean like getting help in the institution, not in there, giving them pills, stringing them out, making them even crazier than they already is. No, literally helping these children, talking to them, doing these, like I said, getting inside their heads, getting inside the children's heads and trying to find out why these kids so traumatized. Put them in the institution so the doctors can literally, work inside their minds, not give them drugs. Work inside their minds. Do these little what's-the-name things and put them in hypnosis and find out why they so deep into their life, what's going on in their lives. Put them under hypnosis. Put them under hypnosis and see what's going on with them. Don't give them drugs because drugs ain't going to help them. It's just going to make it worse. Get deep and down into their mind and see what's going on with these children so they can understand why they doing what they doing out here. Why they doing it. Don't put them in jail with some grown, crazy people that's already cracked up in jail and put these children in there and make it even worse. No. Don't trial these children as adults. They don't know nothing about that. Don't trial them as an adult. Put them in the hospital and get them some help. That's what you do. Put them in the hospital and get them some help and get deep and down into their soul and find out why did they do what they did. Because like I said, everything starts at the house, in your home. It don't matter if these children, white, black, blue, pink, orange, purple, or brown, or creed. It don't matter. Do not trial these children as adults. Put them in the hospital. Put them in the hospital and let the doctors get in their head and find out why they did what they did. Because anytime a child do something that's critical, it's got to be something that's going on in the home. And that's where the doctors need to start at. Get in their heads. Find out why these boys did this. Let me get deep down into their mind. Let me take them back in the hypnosis and see why they doing what they did. Why they do this. And I bet you some money the truth will come out. The truth will come out why these kids doing what they doing. Something happened in the homes for these little boys to do what they did to that baby. Yes. Yes, something happened. You know. And I say, God, forgive these little boys because they need not know what they have done. They need not know what they have done. Do not trial these children as adults. Put them in a hospital. Because once you trial them as adults, you don't scar them. You are going to scar these children worse than they already is now. Every time children do things, it's got to be something going on in the homes, because that's where it starts from. In the homes. That's where it started. Everything that goes on in them children's lives, it starts from the home, inside the houses, behind closed doors. And God sees everything. And he knows what's going on in the homes. Yeah. Because if you think you're hiding what you're doing behind closed doors to these children, no, you're not. Because the Father sees it. He sees everything. And he knows everything. So, the state, this is what I'm telling y'all. Do not trial these children as grown adults. Put them in a hospital and get deep down into their brain and do the hypnosis and find out why these children did what they did. Find out the truth of what they did, why they did what they did. Because like I said, everything started at home. It starts at home. I am so sorry for that baby. I'm so sorry for you, baby. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I am so sorry. And I'm saying, God, protect her. Protect that baby. Protect that baby. Keep that baby safe. Protect all the children out there in the world. Because like I said, these children don't know why these things are happening to them. Because you have parents that have been corrupt from their families. And as they get grown, they do things to their children. So everything starts at home. It does. Everything starts at home. Even adults have been molested. So it just make a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. That's what it is. It's a pattern. So what's going on? The adults, they've been molested. Then the children get molested, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on. And then they taking it out there in the world, and they raping other people. That's what's going on out there. That's what's going on in the homes. Yes. These children are getting molested from their families, friends, and all that. Because the parents have been molested, and then they have their children, and they molest their children, and then their children grow up, and then their children molest their children, and then it's just out there molesting everybody all willy-nilly. That's what's going on out here in the world. That's what's going on. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it with none of y'all. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because I know what's going on. It starts in the home. That's where it started. Everything that happens starts in the home. That's where it starts at. That's where it starts at. So, do not trial these children as grown adults. Put them in the hospital and get deep down into their heads, and you will find out why these children did what they did. You will find out the honest to God truth. Why these children did what they did. You will find out the truth. That's how you do that, doctors. That's how you do that. So, the state, do your job. Do your job the right way. Do not child these children. They don't know. They probably don't even know why they did what they did. They probably don't even know. Because once children get traumatized, they don't know why their mind is corrupt. They don't know why. They don't know why they doing what they doing. They don't know. They probably done did it, and then after they did it and they came back to their heads and then wonder, why did we do that? Why did we do that? They don't know. They probably don't even know why they did it. Because they traumatized. And kids, a lot of kids out here in this world is traumatized because these parents out here don't know how to raise their children. They sit here and they kick it with their children when they should be parents, not their best friends, they parents. And then their children don't respect the parents because they sit here and kick it with them like they are friends when they are not their friends. They are their parents. And that's what God put them here for, to raise them. Not to be their friends, to raise them. That's what he put y'all here for, to raise y'all children, not to be y'all children's friends, to raise y'all children. That's what he put y'all here for. And that's why the world is the way it is now. And that's the reason why the children's is the way it is, because y'all get to the point that y'all don't even want to listen to the elderlies. And they know more than y'all. But y'all think y'all know more than the elderlies. I'm talking about the new school kids. I'm talking about y'all, the adults that's raising up kids now. Y'all think y'all know more than the elderlies, and y'all don't. But y'all think y'all do because y'all don't want to listen, and that's why the world is the way it is now. That's why the people in the world is the way it is now, because y'all don't want to listen to the elderlies and look at your children. Look at the world now. Look at the children in the world, why it's turning out the way it is. And then you have children raising up children. They out here having babies as they are still babies, raising up kids. And they don't know nothing about raising up kids, but they out here having kids. Because the parents ain't got the time to teach their children. No, you're not ready to have no child because you still a child yourself. Why you thinking about having a child when you still a child? Because the parents out here hanging with their children like their children are adults, but they not. They still children, and they still wet behind their ears, and they need their parents, not their parents to be their friends, to be their parents. That's y'all problem going on out here in this world. Look around at the world. That's why the children is the way they is in the world, because the parents ain't got common sense to stand up to be parents. Instead of being their children's friends, they should be their parents, not their friends. And that's what's going on out here. That's what's going on out here. That's why the children. That's why the world. That's why it is the children's. That's why the children's is the way they is now in this world. And say, this world is crazy. It ain't the world. It's the people in the world that lost their mind. It's the people in the world that have lost y'all. Y'all in the world that lost y'all minds. That's what it is. Y'all have lost y'all minds, and y'all children is losing their minds too. So that's what's going on out here. This is what's going on. So this is what the Father wanted me to speak on. To say he sees what's going on out here. And he hurt for what's happened to that little girl, to that baby. The Father is hurting off that because he loves his babies. And when he give y'all these gifts, he give y'all these gifts to raise these gifts into the quarter to his ways. That's what he give y'all these gifts for. To raise these gifts into quarter into his ways. Not the quarter to y'all ways, and the quarter to his ways. That's why he give y'all these gifts, to take care of these babies the right way. Teach them about God so they can grow up knowing how to respect themselves and everybody else. So, this is what the Father wanted me to speak on. So, thank y'all for listening to me. Jesus love you. Father love you. The Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. And I will be back to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day.